I was trying to blend in at my funeral. You should have heard the way they were talking about me. Do you remember the time that she... I think of her when... Didn't you and she used to... Of course they weren't talking about, you know, that thing they were not talking about. You can tell they wanted to, though. They say I drowned, which is not entirely true. The drowning part came later. Time of death, 8:27. They were laughing. The family, that is. I could hear them from the bathtub, back before I was dead. It's a Wednesday night thing, watching television, not dying, of course. And it always gets loud. And the upstairs neighbours always come down to complain. So loud, in fact, that they didn't even hear me dying in the bathtub. It took a while for them to notice. But, well, someone's going to want to pee eventually. And that sure as hell put a damper on the evening. For them, that is. I mean, I was already dead. What did I care? You care less about dying once it's done. Although I have to say, death's not all it's cracked up to be. Bugger all fire and brimstone. And so far, nobody I recognise. Just lots of standing around. Lots of waiting. I guess you're probably wondering how it happened. Cause of death? Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. A thickening of the heart muscle, left ventricular, blah, blah, blah. But you don't really care, do you? You don't want the details? Not those ones, anyway. Of course, the priest mentioned it in the funeral. You could tell he'd been practicing. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. He let the words hang in the air, floating there with the smoke from all the candles. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So much easier to say than masturbating, because that's what really did it. One damn fine, mind-blowing, heart-stopping orgasm. Miss Scarlet in the bath with the vibrator. I'm telling you, that vibrator was a thing of beauty. I mean, it'd want to be. I did hours of research before I bought it. Waterproof, silent, 10 different speeds. But oh, it was more than that. It was sleek, streamlined, discreet, and wait for it, hands-free. My God, it was fabulous. A work of art. Expensive, sure, but worth every cent. I'll admit, I'm bitter to have my heart give way just like that. It's like buying a Ferrari and crashing it the first time you venture out, head first into a tree just as the needle hits 100. Except it wasn't my first time. Oh, that vibrator and I, we were well acquainted. Hell, I'd even stretched beforehand. Well, that's how you know when you got a quality vibrator, when you have to stretch. You don't want to be seizing up just when you're about to, well, not seize up. Could have been worse, I suppose. The doc said my heart was an accident waiting to happen. Anything could have triggered it. 1 minute vertical, the next minute. Imagine if I'd been driving when it happened. Hell, I could have been driving a Ferrari when it happened, which, when you think about it, means that last orgasm was basically a community service. You're welcome. Still, I can't help wondering if that's why I'm still stuck down here. Whether I'm meant to be a cautionary tale for the kids. Keep your hands out of your pants or else. Because we wouldn't want the girls finding out now, would we? Well, let the boys have it. But heaven forbid young girls get their hands on their bits. I said bits, not clits. But yes, those two. It is so much easier to say clitoris when you're dead. When you're alive, well, not really a priority now, is it? Well, there's plenty else to worry about besides your clit. For a start, they're too busy giving the girls the talk. You know the talk. Watch out for spiked drinks. Carry your keys between your fingers. Call your girlfriends when you get home. Tell me where you're going so I can tell the police where you were if you disappear. Wear nice underwear. Clean but not sexy. Because if you're raped, they'll say you were asking for it, but not so ugly. You're going to get shamed. But the good stuff, we're supposed to keep that a secret. Because there's power in knowing. And we wouldn't want our girls to know about the joy. It's a disruptive thing, the joy. It whispers to you in the dark. Tales of sweet pleasures that rise from within. From the lightest of touches on even the darkest of days. Joy places a coin back in your palm and refuses to take your payment. Because she knows that pleasure is a gift that does not have to be earned, no matter what you might have heard. Joy does not judge, even though we are born into judgment. We're weighed and measured and plumped and preened. Joy stands aloof throughout. She does not see your sweatpants and your unwashed hair. She could care less whether you have showered or exercised or brushed your teeth. She's oblivious to wrinkles and pimples and scars, to extra bits and missing bits or transitioning bits. She will unfurl pleasure regardless. They just tell you to keep your hands where they can see them, lest you discover that you don't need to be thin or blonde or perky or sleek or hairless or manicured or taut. You don't need to diet or purge in order to find joy. She's there for the taking. Toe-curling, back-arching joy. That's the secret they're all so desperate to keep. Because masturbation is a gateway drug, a pure, unadulterated shot of fierce, body-loving rebellion. And we wouldn't want that now, would we? Because what would we even do with that sort of knowledge? They'd probably just be disappointed with men. Not all men, of course. Just the ones who don't know where to find the relevant bits and clips. And the ones who can't be bothered asking for directions. Hell, a girl might even discover that she's not too old or too broken or too frigid. She's just grown weary of inexperienced hands hammering away in all the wrong places. Then again, I sometimes wonder if the reason that we have to keep our hands away from our bits is in order to make space for all the other people who want to be up in our business. It surprises me more men can't find a clitoris, given how much time they spend worrying about what goes on between our legs. What are you putting in there? What are you taking out? Did you wax it? Can we tax it? Did you ask God first? Look, I never wanted to be dead. But hey, if I have to stick around, I'm prepared to do what I can. Spread the word, give some advice. So here's what I think. We need to laugh more about orgasms and death, for that matter. We need to learn to laugh. Learn to be not afraid. We need to find more cause for celebration. Celebrate our humanity while it lasts. Celebrate our resilience and our strength. Celebrate our goddamn